Hey, listener. This one gets pretty heavy. There's a fair amount of talk about suicide in this episode, or at the very least, expressing a desire to no longer be living. That's heavy and a difficult thing, and if that's going to be difficult for you to listen to in this episode, just go ahead and skip this one. We'll see you next week. That said, depending on where you're at in the world, if you're having thoughts like people don't love you or that the world would be a better place without you, you're wrong. Somebody out there does. Somebody cares about you, I promise. And the world is a better place with you. You should call 988 or whatever your regional suicide hotline is.
Hello and welcome to Who Are You? We're a reasonably well done sci-fi watchcast by a couple of former strangers who are now friends and watching 2004's Battlestar Galactica. I'm Laura.
And I'm a thirsty boy. I hope my giant glugging didn't come across. I'm Xhafer.
I'm sure if your giant glugging made it through the microphone that Aaron cut it out.
That's why he's the best in the biz.
He's a pro.
Just getting that pre-recording giant glug on before I talk for an hour. You know how she goes.
Gotta lube up.
Yeah. So we're here. We're talking about Season 2, Episode 12, Resurrection Ship Part 2. It's a two-parter, and in this streaming era, we watched them back to back. So this conversation is picking up maybe 10 minutes after the last episode ended for us. For you, listener, it's been a week because, to be honest, we can't produce content like that.
How was your week, though? I hope it was good, listener.
Yeah, I hope you had a great week. I hope the world had a great week and that things, at the very least, didn't change for the negative.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's my general hope for the next forever.
3 years, 5 months, and a couple of weeks. No reason.
If I thought that the last time on for the last episode was long, this was a very, very long last time on into the part 2 of Resurrection Ship.
Yeah, we get a lot.
There's a lot to cover again. We got the long spider ship, if you've forgotten from last week, and Boomer part 2. We're trying to boomer each other. Too boomer, too fast, or whatever.
Too boomer, too shooter? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something in there.
It's fine. Yeah, but we're going to open this episode in a very peaceful Christ pose. And I thought it was Gaius again, because we're always in Gaius's mind, right?
I also thought it was Gaius for a moment, and it wasn't until the head gets lifted and we see that more of the hair. I mean, they're actually really close friends before this. They knew each other. Because they're both British dudes who came up around the same acting time frame, and they're around the same age.
Lee's actor is a British dude?
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Okay.
And they look kind of similar, especially when you can't see their eyes or their hair.
Well, yeah, you put some big sunglasses on
he's
Lee,
got sunglasses that are covering a full half of his face. So I don't feel bad about it. But it's Lee. Yeah. He's doing the floaty thing in the water. It's very serene. I do this a lot when I'm in water.
You do a nice little Christ pose.
Yeah. Well, I'm just floating.
Yeah, in the water, it's fun. Yeah. Right. So let's see. We've had some notable Adama Christing. We've had notable Gaius Christing, and now we're Lee Christing. Yeah. Very, very good.
The Father, the Son, and the big asshole. Right? That's how that goes.
Nailed it. You nailed church, Xhafer.
Got it in one.
Yeah, well, if I don't know if you ever heard this because you're not from small Oklahoma town, but at school dances, if you were too close to your partner, Got to leave room for the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So if he's like in between two people dancing, he must be a giant asshole, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But like the sun gets really bright
Mm-hmm.
in this peaceful, serene lake. And it turns out it's actually a Cylon raider.
Is a ship. Yeah.
Yeah. And Lee is not floating in a lake, he is floating in a spacesuit in the middle of the battle.
Yep. Does this feel familiar to you?
In media shit show?
Well, this exact thing
No.
was Kara in season 1, episode 4. They use this exact same thing where she's floating in space watching a battle after her ship got blown up.
Oh, I had kind of forgotten about that.
Yep.
It's been long enough. I would say they really have flip-flopped then, haven't they?
Yeah. 100%.
All of this has happened before and will happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And then we get the 48 hours earlier. So
Yeah.
we're told that, hey, we're mixing up the storytelling a little bit
We're
here.
going back. We have Kara and Lee discussing Papadama's orders to kill Kane. He agrees to help Kara, even though he's just like, the fuck is this?
Yeah, he's not happy about it, but he's like, if we can't trust each other, if you can't trust me to help you, because she's like, I know you don't want to do this, you don't have to do this. And he's like, but if you can't trust me, then what do we even have? Like, without trust, we are no different from the Cylons.
Which is an absurd statement to make. Like, there's a bunch of other stuff that separates you, like dying or reproduce. Like, there's all kinds of shit that makes you different than the Cylons. This is not the thing.
Yeah. I was going to say, I feel like the Cylons have a lot of trust between one another. Like,
Yeah.
they might not trust humans, but they certainly trust one another. Okay, Lee. And I just realized as you were talking, I think I figured out the Cylons problem. So when we were building the Cylons, we had the slider and we took the slider too far over on the being able to upload and resurrect oneself into another body. And we didn't put enough on the slider for reproduction. And that's why they can't reproduce.
Okay. Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Trade-offs.
Yeah, just fucked up the sliders a little bit. It'll happen. You gotta tune that shit.
Yep.
Some fucking assholes go to Hilo and Tyrrell. They put guns up their heads so that they can tie them up. And then we cut to theme.
Very important, I think, that they're just like hassling each other, hassling Tyrrell and Hilo through the glass. And then Tyrrell is the one who's like, oh, yeah, come say that to my face.
Yeah.
And they were just waiting for that. Like, they go straight in, and Tyrrell thinks that he's going to get like a fair fight, I guess.
Right? Yeah, these guys with guns aren't going to get involved, right? The two guys with guns
these
right
guys
behind
who
you?
like willingly partook in rape torture as the aggressors are going to give you a fair fist fight. Okay. And immediately they're just like cuffing them to stuff.
Yeah.
And going to give them the old thorn treatment.
Yep. Survivor count 49,604, unchanged.
Right. It's only been like a day.
Yeah. Well,
Max.
back from theme, and they are getting beat up with soap and towels. I had always heard oranges and socks, but hey.
I hadn't heard either of those. An orange seems like it could be too soft, right? Like,
Well, the point is to
I'm gonna
not leave
squishy that thing
bruises. I don't think they're as concerned about that right now, though.
oh, yeah. No, I don't think they care. As far as they care, these are two dead men anyway.
Yeah.
Who's going to care about bruises on their body after we shoot them in the firing squad, right? Tyrrell calls them cowards,
Yeah.
and so they start beating him harder. But Fisk catches them and orders them out.
Yep. They thank him. He does not want their thanks and reaffirms that this bizarre and frankly ugly opinion that Cylons aren't alive, so they cannot be assaulted.
Yeah. He was doing so well, like breaking this up. He doesn't like punish the guys, but he gets them out of there.
They are
And
assaulting an officer, which is what these guys are in jail for. So,
yeah, he should have maybe done a little more, right?
yeah,
But he's doing more than anybody else on Pegasus
for
would,
sure.
it seems like. And he even gives the guards like a stiff look that made me laugh. And I don't know, at this moment I was like, yeah, Fisk is not great, but I don't know that he's going to do this. Like, if he's ordered to do the boomer, is he actually going to do it?
His allegiance is a bit of a question mark because
Uh-huh.
he clearly is terrified of Kane.
Yeah, for sure.
And if he had an opportunity to get away from that, it would be through Adama.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And he's buddying with Saul. Like, he and Saul kind of feel for each other. Like, they both know, like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And we're in maybe one of the hardest positions out of the entire crew. And they're, like, doing some bonding
Yeah.
over that. So maybe Fisk can be turned around. Maybe he's not all rotten in the core.
Mm-hmm. What follows is Kane and Kara having a drink while discussing a little bit of everything.
Yeah. We can't let it slide that Specs talks about drinking to excess and
Yeah.
Kane has to let her know. I know about Colonel Ty.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know about his
You
problems.
clocked him? Good for you. Fuck that guy. Yeah, fuck that guy. This show is so fucking good because Kane is like, there will come a time when you will have to make a decision that will save other people from dying. And in that moment, when it comes, you cannot hesitate. You have to do the thing needs to be done, no matter how difficult it is. And Kane is basically convincing Kara to go through with killing Kane. They don't say it, right? But that's what's on her mind. And that's the thing that she's struggling with right now. And that's Kane sees that she's struggling. She recognizes that in her. She's struggling with something. And she needs her to execute, on the mission. But also, I'm pretty sure Kane knows. We'll talk about it more later.
Okay.
Because this is not the moment that tells me that Kane knows. But I think she understands.
Yeah. No, and the way she phrases this, she talks about committing horrible sins.
Yeah.
And she's doing it to try to keep from putting more of her children in body bags, basically. I struggle a little bit with that characterization, like that, I don't know. Horrible sins with some strong, strong words.
I mean, nobody thinks they're evil, right?
Right.
If you do evil shit, you're doing it because you've convinced yourself it's the right thing to do. Not because you think it's evil and you are a villain in a poorly written movie. That's not how brains work. That's not how how humans work.
Right.
So there's a bit of that here, for sure. She has done some undeniably evil shit.
Yeah.
She is ordered for some terrible, terrible things to happen, and she knows that. And she has done it for the greater good of saving humanity because in her mind, the only path forward is for them to defeat the Cylons so that they can be free to have a species again.
Right.
So,
but
she doesn't waver on that.
I struggle with.
She should.
Yeah. I struggle with that, like, I am mindlessly fixed on we need to destroy Cylons so we can have a species again, when we know that Kane left civilians defenseless.
Yeah.
Like, crippled and defenseless. Like, how are you going to start this human race over with 1,000 people on your ship, Ms. Kane? Like, the genetics don't work. Doesn't work out. It, like, if you didn't save those civilians, then what are you doing?
Yeah, she skipped her like genetics and populations classes at the Colonial Military Academy.
Yeah.
Like, when they
And she didn't have a Gaius on board to like do the math.
yeah, like what's like the genetic diversity required to ensure that the civilization doesn't inbreed itself in a number of generations? That's a question she's never bothered to ask herself.
Right, right. I mean, we were concerned about the 45,000, right?
Yeah.
So 1,000, I don't think it's going to cut it.
Yeah. This show is so fucking good. This scene with Kane and Kara is probably one of my absolute favorites in the entire show.
It got me real worried.
Yeah.
I'm worried for Starbeast.
Yeah, I mean it's doing its job as a scene for sure. Just like the layers of conversation and stuff. It's A+.
Yeah.
Lee volunteers for a courier run to go talk to Papadama about what he's asked of Kara. He learns that Rosalind is in on this plan too, and this clearly changes things for him.
Yeah, it bothers him that this is Mommy's idea.
Yeah, Mommy's supposed to be the righteous, innocent kind of like everything will be fine one. Not
We can all work together. Let's have a few rounds of kumbaya.
yeah.
Like hold hands. We're going to get through this. And Mommy is ordering assassinations in the military. So, yeah, they are going to have a little moment. And then Lee is going to go have a private freak out.
Yeah. We get a montage of mission prep after this. The colonel and captain pass each other in the hallway, each wishing each other good hunting before they go on their respective missions, followed by assassinations.
Uh-huh. I was like, Starbeast has to know this too, right?
Yeah, he's rolling out with a ton of Marines. Like,
Yeah. And the fact that she wishes him good hunting when, like, he's not actually going to do anything, theoretically.
yeah.
I mean, I guess the idea is that the Marines are there in case they get boarded.
Yeah.
The Galactica gets boarded. They've sent extra Marines. That's probably the excuse.
Yeah.
But, I mean, come on.
Fisk informs Ty of his presence on the ship and that the Marines will be there, while Adama looks at his giant chest scar.
Chicks dig scars.
I was really worried as I'm writing about this scene. He's staring in the mirror at his scar, and I'm writing, so I'm not watching everything. And then all of a sudden, I hear him tell the guards to leave them alone, and then Boomer's there, and I'm like, is he still like half naked, talking to Boomer and saying, "Leave the guards outside"? Because this is weird, and I don't like it. I'm so uncomfortable.
This giant chest scar I have from when one of your siblings shot me.
Yeah. I was freaked out.
Yeah.
But it turns out he actually had his clothes back
Yeah.
on. So it's cool. But Sharon is fine.
Yeah, she brings up his speech from Galactica's decommissioning ceremony. Does humanity deserve to survive is a question that they've never bothered to ask themselves.
Wait. Okay, maybe was that televised?
Yeah.
The decommissioning ceremony? Okay, I was like, wait, how does she know about that?
Well, she was on Galactica. Well, Sharon was.
Yes. Yeah.
Boomer was in attendance of that speech.
Right. And I guess Boomer was probably transmitting something
Yeah.
at that time, unknowingly transmitting some stuff. But it still should be weird for Adama to, if it hadn't been televised.
Yeah. Well,
Be like, how the fuck do you know about that? You know, like, even though we know Cylons have
yeah.
weird stuff.
I mean,
it would
she
still-
remembers her relationship with the chief and stuff. There's things that
That's
that
right.
Sharon knows about that are definitely boomer centric, but it's not like everything. It's kind of they kind of play fast and loose with it when it's convenient, you know. So
Well, and I think she says she doesn't know much about the relationship with the chief.
yeah,
I don't know that that's true.
yeah. I mean, it's like it's weird like that, I guess. I mean, I have a very good memory. Like, it's not 100% all of the time, but I do have like a ton of like very photographic memories in my brains. It's not consistent. But I will remember things like about meeting people sometimes that I know if I were to tell them would freak them the fuck out. Like
Yeah.
I'll walk into a restaurant and be like, "Oh, we had dinner here 6 months ago. We sat at that table. We ordered this. I was wearing this. You were wearing this." Like I've got that level of memory sometimes. And I can't say a lot of it out loud. When I remember something like that, I can't communicate it because people get fucking freaked naturally, right? It's fucking weird. To remember that stuff sometimes. It's like, why would you even? And it's just like, it's just my brain. I got to imagine it's like that for her. Like if she were to say things that she has those memories of, it would be very jarring for other people.
Yeah. Tyrell would probably be pretty upset if she knew.
Yeah.
If she expressed that she knew a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know that matters at this point. It would almost be kinder to freak Tyrell out and make him not want to be near you.
Yeah.
As we could discuss at the end of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, maybe humanity doesn't deserve to survive. And then we're in battle already.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we cut to mid-mission. We see one of the Cylon base stars has taken a bunch of fire as both the Battlestars launch on it while Lee moves in on the Resurrection ship. He takes out its FTL drive as the Blackbird gets hit by some debris. Lee auto-ejects, and then it starts to run away. The Vipers launch search and rescue Raptors going after Lee as he finds a small leak in his suit, and Galactica CIC kind of hears all about all this stuff as Marines enter with Fisk. All very quickly, a bunch of stuff happens.
Yeah, Adama is very calm as he orders for the rescue. And this was one of those moments as I'm watching it. You know, we don't see like a whole tense Lee going in and getting into the ship and finding his target and all that. Like, we've just jumped into battle. He's already there. He's already got target. And so, you know, when you're making that kind of a jump in the story, that like something worse is going to happen, because we're not ramping up tension with like the Death Star run or anything. Like, we're just there and it was fine. And you're like, oh no, it's going to get worse. So yeah, he's out in space, and at one point he looks at the air gauge, I think.
Yeah.
And can see that like he's leaking from that hole quite a lot. But I love the shots of him watching the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that work that they did is really good.
Yeah, it's so good. Over on Pegasus, Gaius is with Gina, and while 6PT is like, pick me, she can't help you like I can help you. And I'm just like, man, I find this completely unrelatable. Like, I do not understand being jealous of not Ghost you as you exist in this person. Like, it's so abstract at this point that her jealousy is so alien to me that I just cannot understand it.
It's weird. Well, to me, the whole fact that like Gaius is with Gina right now is also weird to me.
Yeah.
Like, when you're going into this battle, wouldn't you be like, sorry, Gaius, you need to go be somewhere else. You can't be with the Cylon prisoner right now.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that nobody was thinking like, we should probably just like secure her for now, and Gaius needs to go back to Galactica or go hang out with the president or whatever, like, while we're doing this big mission. Weird oversight to leave him in here.
Yeah.
But yeah, 6PT, jealous of herself,
Yeah.
it seems like. Is this another argument for actually like a defect in Gaius's brain? Like, not an actual 6 or 6 personality? Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, it when he makes this choice to take care of Gina, 6PT disappears. She's gone. Mm-hmm. She's really unhappy. And it's so weird that he starts parroting back to Gina what 6PT told him in the last episode.
Yeah.
About missing sports.
Yeah, he quotes 6PT's thing about feeling the waves of emotion from the stands in the sports ball
Word
game.
for word.
Yeah.
And I always had 2 tickets because I wanted you to come with me
Yeah.
or something. And 6PT is like, how dare you?
That's fair.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't understand.
Yeah, it's fucking
I don't
weird.
understand why she. I mean, if Caprica 6 or that Caprica 6, I don't know if she actually blew up in the nuclear explosion or not. I'm just going to call her Caprica 6. But if that Caprica 6 had really done that, had really like gone to the Pyramid Games, getting 2 tickets, wanting Gaius to come with, like,
And never
wouldn't
asked
this
him.
6,
Yeah.
wouldn't Gina know that? Like, unless maybe not all the information uploads, or maybe that Caprica 6 really did never make it back and she just jumped into Gaius instead. I don't know.
I mean, the other thing is that, like, Gina's been through a lot. So maybe her memories are a bit jumbly. And she hears this thing and it's relatable to her and she doesn't understand that it's her memory that's being described back to her.
Yeah.
Trauma will do that.
Yeah. Gaius, I don't know. This doesn't seem good.
No, it's not. It's not good.
This
and
seems bad.
It's very bad, and just you wait. you couldn't even guess where this storyline goes in. I don't know how many episodes offhand, but I'm going to just say 5.
I was like, man, I don't know, because he seems to be doing the thing of like, I can fix her. Xhafer is making the face. And spoilers for life, everyone. The I can fix them never goes well. So I don't think it's going to go well for Mr. Gaius Baltar either.
You don't fix people.
Don't fix people.
People hopefully will fix themselves. You don't fix people. You can help someone grow, but you're not fixing them. They're gonna
Nope.
they will fix themselves or they won't.
Right.
Ugh.
No. Never, ever think you can fix people. That's my life lesson for today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lee is floating
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, he's just missing all of Dee's calls.
Yeah. Dee's calling and he can't answer, it seems like. Whether he can't answer because there is something physically wrong with him or because he is so mentally short-circuited at this moment. Unclear. He's back floating in the lake. He tries to say something to Dee, but passes out. And then Aaron and I were arguing about whether in the lake, if he's sunburned, because he's like very red all of a sudden, and the glasses are off, or if the lake is like super cold and he's turned red. But I'm voting sunburn.
Seems pretty bright.
Yeah, there was that bright sun that was.
He spends
a
almost
big
all
deal.
of his time indoors, so.
Yeah, pretty pale British man.
Yep. One of the base stars goes down as the Vipers destroy the resurrection ship. Racetrack finds Lee and saves him, and the remaining Cylon ships all jump away. We did it, guys! There's only 15 minutes or 30 minutes of episode left, or whatever we're at.
Yeah. No, like a lot happened there. It was pretty fast.
Yeah.
And Lee was like drowning in the lake as the raptor pulls up to him. So that was like a good visual. And yeah, we did it. Pegasus hears that the resurrection ship has been destroyed. And Gina knows too.
As if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
We get the flash shows.
Yeah, she feels the cloud connection drop. Gina's lost her Wi-Fi signal. Now the drama begins.
Yeah, we have literal ticking in the soundtrack. Tick, tick, tick.
Starbucks slow marches to CNC on Pegasus as Fisk and the Marines haunt CIC on Galactica.
There is so much sweating.
Oh, yeah.
Fisk is sweating to commercial. Starbuck is sweating.
There's more Sweaties than a Magic tournament in here. It's bad.
Yeah, Gaius is sweating. So, like, Gina is telling him, "Yep, I'm ready to die now."
Please.
Gaius is just sweating at her.
Yeah. Kane tells Starbuck that she's so very proud of her, and then calls Adama. They're talking for a minute. Adama talks to Starbuck and doesn't give the code word. And then Kane follows suit. They both decide against assassination.
I wondered.
I am 100% convinced here
that Kane knew.
Kane knew.
Well, I wondered because what Adama says to Starbuck is that it's not enough to just survive. We have to be worthy of that survival. And then doesn't give the code word and all that. And I was like, I wonder if Kane could hear him. Like, if she could hear him on the phone, or if there was some sort of, like, she had some sort of bug device or something. And that convinced her also not to make the call. I don't know. Or I guess she might have been prepared in some way that she knew if Starbuck was going to try to shoot her, she had a plan. And then she would have Fisk take Adama out. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think she knows. I think she wants to die. I think she knows she's a problem. I think she knows that her time is done.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me.
I think she knows that her way of doing things isn't going to work with this fleet.
Yeah. Like once she saw all those civilians and there's a president, even if she was a school teacher or whatever everyone says derogatorily about her, like, how many ships did we say were in the fleet?
There's 30 or something. There's a bunch.
There's a bunch,
40,
right?
maybe 50? I think, okay. So, like, how many episodes ago when this fleet split, they said like 20 ships went, and they said it was a third of the fleet? So there's like 60 ships in the flotilla?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And they've like made a honest to God attempt at government. Like, not only do we have the president, we did a whole thing where we had a vice president and we had an election and we've got a quorum of 12. Like, we're really trying to do the thing.
Yeah.
And especially if those people find out what she did to the other civilians.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to work.
For sure. Yeah, I think she knows. I think she's expecting Starbuck to shoot her right here. And that she had Jack in place in case Starbuck fails.
Yeah.
And Starbuck doesn't fail, so she doesn't order the assassination.
Yeah.
There's like this smirk that goes across her face when Starbuck says, "I think that's wise."
And Fisk is like, so, I mean, I don't know this actor's name because I am absorbing them little by little, and he's not been around long enough. But his facial expressions are so good.
Yeah.
Like, so good. You can see the terror on his face the whole time. And he's like horrified that she wants to talk to him. And she just says, "Hey, good job, buddy.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all.
It.
Bye."
Bye.
And the relief when he gets just a good job, bye. Ty tells him he looks like he could use a drink, and he just has this like raucous laughter of like and it's not totally out of place because it's like one of those things when you've had this big battle operation, like you might have this reaction at the end when everything's over and you realize you're safe of laughter. Like, that's a thing we've seen in media before. But we, the audience, know like what it's really about. So, Gaius and Gina are doing a ruse on the guard. They knock him out for his gun. Do you think they knocked him out, or do you think he's dead?
Subtitles on said neck cracks. Gina goes over there and snaps it. So.
Okay, he's dead. And I kind of thought he must have to be.
Yeah.
Because of like Gaius being there. If he woke up and is like, how did the Cylon escape? Like, Gaius is kind of Gaius and his word against each other would not be very smooth. Like, Gaius is just bumblefuck Gaius, and these things happen around him.
Bumblefuck Gaius. Put that on a
So
t-shirt.
everyone on Galactica is gonna roll their eyes and be like, God, this guy again, you know. But if the guard has things to say, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
So he did. Okay.
He did.
She's trying to get Gaius to shoot her.
Yeah, but suicide is a sin. She doesn't want to die with sin, so Gaius needs
to be the one to do
kill her. And he's just like, fucking no. You don't need death. You need justice. I know a place I can hide you. Here's the gun.
Where do we think that place is? It's not Galactica. I mean, I guess we're going to find out, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting the face.
Yeah, you're getting the face. I think you find out next episode.
Yeah, okay.
It will not be a surprise nor something that has never been mentioned before.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like it's Zarek, right?
Zarek
Zarek is the last place we went to
it's not
hide.
like Gaius has some surprise ship that he hangs out in sometimes when he's not on Galactica that they just never bothered to build a set for or something. Like, you'll hear and you go, oh, yeah, of course. So I won't say anything.
We're going to put her on, what was that, Cloud 9 is the luxury liner.
That's,
Poster up in the hotel with Zarek.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I was like,
I think next up, if not the episode after. It's fine. You'll find out soon.
Yeah, it feels like we can't leave this hanging for too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to take her somewhere and he's going to look after her. He's going to take care of her.
Yeah.
And he's going to fix her.
But before then, she's going to get that justice. We cut over to Kane's quarters where Gina is waiting and she kills the admiral.
Yeah. She throws her own words back at her about, can you roll over? Can you beg?
Yeah.
Of course, Kane does not. And we just get quick bullet to the head.
Mm-hmm.
Right in the face.
Lee's pretty fucked up here. He's laying in bed. He's still kind of out of it. And we cut over to Fisk conducting Kane's military funeral.
Yeah. It's nice enough, right?
Yeah.
I got a little nervous when he pledged to uphold her values, because some of those values, man, I think we might could let some of them go.
I mean, it's a lot of posturing when you take over a ship in this means, I'm sure.
Yeah. And for some reason, Starbeez is going to talk.
Yeah.
Starbeez, who's known her for checks watch 3 days.
I mean, she even acknowledges that, like, hey, I haven't known that long.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. You probably should have passed on this one. But she's got to let the audience know that she's making her turn to dark Starbeez.
Mm-hmm.
She's definitely getting dark. And the dark truth that she shares with everyone is that we were safer with her than we are without.
Yep.
I don't know if all those civilians were.
Aaron, quick question asking for a friend. The friend is you. How do you make two podcast hosts going at the same time the title of an episode?
I think we've dropped a couple of good ones throughout here.
Yeah, for sure.
We're doing good today, especially for a back-to-back.
Yeah.
Okay, so Starbuck is going to try to talk to Lee.
Yeah, he's pretty upset. He feels like he's let Kara down by getting hit. Dee is listening to this all in the hallway. They cut to her a couple of times very quickly.
Uh-huh. Why is Dee listening to this in the hallway? Why, Dee? Is it natural that because she's like the communications officer, she also wants to know all the hot goss?
I know everything that gets communicated off of the ship. Damn it, I'll know everything that gets communicated on it.
Yeah, I could see that being like a unofficial part of the position is like if you're handling all the channels, you also have to know like
Chief Intelligence Officer.
Yeah.
She's got cameras and mics everywhere. There's actually an unshot script that is Dee alone on Galactica for some reason, and Home Alone's the place.
Yeah.
God, I'd watch that episode.
Oh, if only she could do all the like traps for those Cylon boarding
Oh,
party
for
episodes.
sure. Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. She's got traps everywhere, 100%.
Yeah, the Cylons like stepping in hot tar as they try to come down the hallway. Their feet melt to the bulkheads
Warm up the doorknob when they try to turn it. Yeah.
with their scary razor hands.
Yeah, their hand gets like melted to the doorknob. Ah!
Yeah, no. She's like, man, it's fine. Like, people get hit sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't let me down. It's just the luck of the draw. And he's like, actually, it wasn't
Yeah.
just that. Like, and we start to think that maybe he could have called home at any time
Mm-hmm.
and just didn't.
He just really doesn't want to hear G's voice. It's like, someone else, please. Gata, sure, I'll pick up. D, though,
Yeah, I feel like she's doing too much gossiping behind my back.
yeah.
Don't want her to know. No, he's not so glad to be alive. Starbuck is trying to say, I'm just glad you're here. And he's like, I'm not.
Yeah. Big yikes.
So we've got Starbuck turning into Dark Starbies, and we've got Lee turning into Sad Lee.
Not the most ridiculous Lee face we'll get on this show. Put a pin in that for season
No.
3.
I mean, we've already had like
Oh, believe me, everyone listening who's seen this show knows exactly what I'm talking about right now without me needing to say anything else.
okay.
You'll find out soon enough.
I'm not criticizing Sadly. Like, this is just a phase that he's going into,
Yeah.
right? Because we've already had petulant child Lee,
Yeah.
and like Sadly is at least like reflecting on some stuff.
Yeah, no, depression Lee is a thing that we'll be reckoning with for a minute.
Yeah. And, you know,
Trauma.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of making it back, though, Hilo and Chief say hey to Sharon. At least they go to say hey, and then Hilo's there, and then Chief's all like, oh, this got super awkward super quick. Peace. And just kind of sneaks out the back.
Yeah. They're just like this weird little triad that can't admit like what they are, and also she's not the same person as Tyrell
Yeah.
had been with, sort of. I don't know. It's weird. And I don't know if this is going to be the end of this or not, but I kind of hope it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought when we had the stupid Sharon phone call that we didn't hear, you know, it's at the end of the episode and it just cuts off. And I was like, shit. Well, I hope that's the end of it. I hope that was Tyrell being like, I'm through. But I kind of feel like it's probably not. Who knows?
Yep.
But we're going to end this episode. Mommy and Daddy are going to talk
Yeah.
with our son, Billy, our
Yeah.
other son.
Our stepson, I don't know. It's weird, but you're here, so fuck it.
Maybe he's the nephew we had to adopt.
Yeah. Nobody knows how Gina escaped, but she did. Laura needs a nap, but Bill won't be getting one since he's now admiral. Admiral? I don't know. We'll workshop it after. Now, it is colonial tradition that this promotion is only granted by smoochies with the president. Historically, a very awkward ceremony, regardless of any context.
Okay.
But it kind of works here.
All right. I'll admit it. I fucking loved this. I want Mommy and Daddy to be together. I want them to be happy. I don't care that Mommy's a Cylon. I want them to be happy. And it was very cute. Although the president was kind of like, oh my. Yeah. And he, you know, she tells him to never give up hope. She's like, I'm so glad you didn't have to do that thing that I did and that the Cylon did it for us. And he doesn't say, I was not going to do it. Sorry. But she says, never give up hope. And he tells her the same and gives her a smoochy kiss. And I just really liked it. I'm shipping it hard.
Mm-hmm.
But then Billy has to practically carry her away because she is very, very frail.
Yeah. And that's it. That's the episode. We got through the two-parter.
Oh, thank God.
All right. Well, on a scale of 1 to 12 colonies, where you at?
I give it 12 smoochy kisses.
12 smoochy kisses.
I love it. And I was really, relieved that we wrote this the way that we did, that our daddy Adama didn't have to take the dark turn as well. Although I'm very worried about Starbies.
Yeah.
Very worried about that. Daddy Adama didn't take the dark turn. Admiral Kane turned out better than I thought. And it was, Gina got justice. I don't know that Gina's going to be not a problem. I think she's going to be a big problem. But at least the humans got to be better than I feared. So,
Yep. Just, you'll see. Next up.
yeah.
God.
You didn't tell me your rating.
Oh. Okay.
Unless you want to be 12 smoochy kisses with me.
I had written down an 11, but I had also written down, I don't know, talk it out. So I like this episode a lot. I like the previous episode a lot. Like I said, one of my favorite three-parters of all time. Not my most favorite. That's in Babylon 5, but really enjoyed this app. I think of the three, I don't know where I'd put this in comparison.
Yeah, it's hard to.
I think last episode's probably my favorite of the three.
Okay.
Really, really enjoyed this episode, though. It's a lot of resolution, a lot of stuff we've been building for in episodes before Pegasus comes to fruition here, and there's also a lot of stuff that will pay off in coming episodes here. Solid episode. Very heavy. I was engaged the entire time. When an episode is hard to pause to take notes for, and you're like, damn it, I don't want to pause, and you watch some and then rewind to take your notes, I think that's the mark of a truly excellent episode, and that was the case for both of these last two.
Yeah, for sure. I almost am apprehensive again. I was apprehensive about how this all was going to turn out, and it turned out fine.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, well, what crazy shit is going to happen now?
Well, let's talk about it. We've got season 2.
Yeah, do tell.
Episode 13, Epiphanies.
I feel like this is a sci-fi title that's been used in other things.
For sure. Let's see here. I like this episode description better than the one I've got written down. President Rosalind flashes back to her life on Caprica. A group of Cylon sympathizers destroy the Tilium refinery.
Cylon sympathizers.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I like that better than the one I wrote down is actually more spoils than that.
The Tilium refinery is a ship, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Wonder how we got sympathizers.
Well, we'll talk about it next week. But before we get there, I should probably say thank you to a couple of people. Like, hey, Jeremy Siegel 42.bandcamp.com, buddy. How you doing? I hope it's well. Hope things are going good for you. You can find more of Jeremy's work and streaming services as Nuclear Jaguar. Thanks for giving us our theme song. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. And thanks, Angry Deck Time Machine on Instagram for the podcast artwork.
Aaron, look, I don't listen to this podcast, but if I did, I would only know even more what a great editor you are. Because anytime I have listened to this podcast, you fucking nailed it. So keep it up. Appreciate the hell out of you. Thanks so much.
Yeah. I've been listening because, the stress of schooling makes me want to spend more time with my friends, but I don't have a lot of time to spend with my friends. So I get an extra 45 minutes with Xhafer if I listen to our podcast again. Also, I have a commute that makes it a lot easier to do that. So
yeah, I listened to I actually sat down and listened to podcasts for the first time in probably 8 months, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when I was driving to and from Chicago for work.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was almost exclusively Behind the Bastards, though. What a good podcast.
You didn't just listen to 8 hours of yourself.
No. I hear my own voice quite enough. Thank you.
Yeah, indeed.
All right. We'll see you next week, Internet.
Bye.